All right, shalom, shalom. You in live Israelite School UPK Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. Isupk out of Virginia. Live with precinct captain, not the Sergeant Shy. You understand? All right. We'll give everybody a chance. Just be sure, like always, sign in for your name, city, and state for your attendance. All right. We'll give everybody an opportunity to get in there. Okay. Right. In there, of course, you got your questions. All right. We're going to come in there. So, the Lord, the Most High, is a lot of developments and things that's going on in the earth, as always, in a very prophetic time. You understand a lot of things going on all throughout the nation, all throughout the world. You understand? That's exactly what the Lord has going on. Now is the time. If you've never taken what's in the Bible seriously, now is the time to put all your ability, all your study, all of your everything into learning what is in the Bible. Now is absolutely that time. And it is absolutely necessary to know what is in the scriptures and what you are supposed to be doing as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Now is the time. It's past time. That's why the Lord said, awake, awake. It is absolutely past time for us as a people to turn back to the Most High, to turn back to our culture, our laws, statutes, commandments, our heritage. It's absolutely past time for us to do that. And as the Lord further and further wipes out these other nations, as the Lord wipes them and their economies out, and you see America falling more and more and more, now is the time for us to take the full opportunity to come back and serve the Lord all the way and build our nation the way that we should have done and the way that we were starting to do once we got out of slavery. But the problem was we left off from building our own world and our own society after Martin Luther King told us to join our oppressors. And we have been in a downward spiral ever since. It may sound like a broken record, but it is an endless amount of damage that has been done, that it must continuously be highlighted in order for our people to realize, what is happening so that we can start to plug the leaks in our communities, in our societies, in our families, which absolutely must be done. You understand? It absolutely must be done. There is no way around that. We've tried every way to get around fixing our people by joining our oppressor, by getting in his military, getting in his political movements, changing our ideologies to match his, moving in his neighborhoods and communities. None of those things have done what we have been looking for as a people. Our leaders got rich. Our leaders decided that they would make a covenant with the heathen that were around us, and that is absolutely what the Lord told us not to do. You understand? And here in the Isupk, we are undoing the damage. You understand? Jay Shalom, boy, Lord of Christ. Undoing the damage that has been done to our people. So we're going to start now. We're going to go to Proverbs. We're going to start at Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 10. As a matter of fact, we might start at 5 and 9. Bear with me just a moment. Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 10. More than likely, we'll start at 9. Of course, everybody just like, share, subscribe, sign in for attendance. All right. Proverbs 5. Let's get that. Proverbs 5. Okay. Proverbs 5 and 9. The Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, it automatically has our strength. It has our strength built into it. A lot of what's in the Bible has more than just laws, statutes, and commandments. It has wisdom that a father would teach his son. You understand? Wisdom that was passed down through generations so that your family knew how to do things. so that there was a level of understanding. The laws that the Most High gave to Adam, Adam had wisdom. He had the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, which makes a man alive and wise. That is the breath of life that the Most High made Adam a living soul. He made him alive because he gave him order and direction. He was no longer living in the dust. That's why it says he formed man of the dust of the earth. You understand? Like Adam was no longer living a lower state of living because now he had order, he had structure, he had guidelines to live by. He had a level of understanding as to how to relate to the world that is around him. You understand? And what's happening to us as a people is so much so that we do not have a way to relate to the world that is around us. We don't have a way for them to relate to us as they feed off of our people. And our people are dependent on them for everything. Like, that's not the way that the Lord had set it up. And that is why the brother is giving this wisdom like a father would give to his son in this Proverbs, the 5th chapter. So we're going to start at Proverbs 5 and verse 1. He says, my son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding. A father is supposed to teach wisdom and understanding to his son. You are not supposed to be a man that does not have wisdom and understanding. A part of being a man is important that a man have understanding. Now, us as a people, because we have been in trouble, we've been in captivity, we've been stripped from our heritage and our wisdom and understanding that the Lord had given us. You understand? We've been stripped of that for so long that our nation as a whole is without proper understanding about life, about family, about communities, about neighborhoods, about wealth, about power, about structure, about race, about identity, history, heritage, God, life, death, right, wrong. You understand? That's why the Lord said here, I'm just going to preface, I'm just going to precept this just to get the scripture before we go ahead in Proverbs, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High my power, or the Lord my God, meaning this is our God. Of course, when you see my, it's a possessive pronoun, which is, I'm sure you all already know, commanded me. Like the Lord gave these orders that ye should do so in the land, whither ye go to possess it. Wherever we are on the earth, these laws are supposed to be our rules and guidelines. You understand? It's never too old, never too late, never too long to, you understand, get refreshed and make sure you understand the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. This is the way that we are to live our lives as a people, and living our lives this way makes us a nation automatically. By following and obeying the laws, statutes, and commandments, which is what I'm going to show tonight, it makes us automatically, it forms us into a nation. It automatically makes us powerful just by obeying these laws, statutes, and commandments. Hey, shalom, yo, all right. So when the Lord said in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6, he said, this they keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Meaning the laws, statutes, and commandments, this is what makes us wise and an understanding people in the sight of the nations. We shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. The laws of the Most High make us a people, which Islam does not. Christianity does not. Democracy does not. It does not make us a people. It doesn't make us a nation. It makes us individuals with personal beliefs and personal salvations, personal goals that have loyalties to another nation, another race, another family, another God for other nations of people, which is not wise, which is why they don't look at us as wise. I was talking to a brother, you understand, and he said on his slavery, there's some Muslim brother, and this brother is trying to talk to an actual Muslim, an actual Arab, trying to speak Arabic to them, talking about, all the Muslim talk back and forth. And then the Arab, of course, puts him to the test and speaks to them and start speaking back and forth to them in Arabic. And of course, the brother that is trying, that is without wisdom and without understanding, trying to join up underneath of the skirts of the Arabs and their culture to clamor unto their God, which the Lord told us not to do, he has to tell the Ishmaelite, the Arab, I don't really know Arabic, you going too deep for me. And just further embarrass himself in foolishness, trying to just cower up underneath of another nation of people. And clearly, you're not accepted, you don't belong there, and you're embarrassing yourself, you understand, and embarrassing your people because you show you don't have a knowledge of who you are. And instead of what our people think, that by wearing that African kente cloth and that multicolored Nigerian African shirt and the dashikis, these were things that these other nations of people made to distinguish themselves ethnically from the rest of their people. They made that, the Nigerians made that outfit, that style of dress to distinguish themselves from the other groups of Africans, the other families. You understand? The colonists in America made themselves a flag and started to do things different to distinguish themselves as a people. You understand? Like everything that we have tried to do to establish ourselves as a people, like trying to pretend to be Moors. All just found out that nonsense began about the 1950s and 60s, for the hundreds of years that we were being sold from the west coast of Africa into slavery, both east and west. No black man, no Negro, no Jews, no Israelites were saying that we are Moors. That's some nonsense that came about in the 1900s. Commander General Yohana just explained. That is why when you divert from these laws, statutes, and commandments, you leave your sons without wisdom. Teaching them to be Muslims is without wisdom if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, because their forefathers and their children understand that you are the descendants of the people that they enslaved, that you're not one of them, and that you're not an African, and you're not an American because you're not a white man. Like, they all understand, and they look at our people as absolute fools. And it's why they rob and exploit us to no end, just like the Lord said. And by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, this automatically makes us wiser. This will make you wiser than the rest of your people by having a dietary law, marital laws, laws on sex, laws on what you celebrate, laws about not joining the other nations. Like, that will make you a nation. The Passover makes you a wise and understanding people instead of a foolish people constantly worshiping Africa, worshiping Egypt and Kemet and Ghana, you understand, and worshiping West Africa, you understand. It's a foolish thing, talking about the cradle of civilization. White people made that cradle of civilization nonsense up, you understand. Africa was never the cradle of civilization. It would be wise and understanding, according to the Bible, in Galatians 4 and 6 says, Jerusalem above all is free, and it is the mother of us all. Life started in the Middle East. Any true historian, you understand, knows that. All right? Like, these are things, like, it's a lot of wisdom that is contained in the Bible that is more than just laws and rules. These are things to make our family strong, you understand? And by having wisdom that teaches us how to wield power. It's an important lesson to learn. It's one thing to have power. It's another thing to learn how to wield power, how to control power, how to be a man of dignity, of power and authority, prince of the power. You understand? It's important things to know that a father would have to teach his son the responsibility of the power and the authority that comes with being the princes of the power. You understand? How to carry yourself so that you are respected amongst the nations, how to behave yourself, how to talk, how to speak royally and understand there's a time to speak, there's a time to speak, there's a time to keep silent, there's a time to be happy, there's a time to rejoice and mourn. We're going to get into all of that. I'm not going to get ahead of my lesson, but let's go ahead back now and finish this Deuteronomy 4 and 6. It says, therefore keep and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who have power. That God is their power, their strength, so nigh unto them. And they're saying that because Allah is not nigh unto the Arabs. Allah is not close to the Arabs. The Arabs have to go and travel to Mecca to circle a rock. They have to slam their heads on the ground 5 times a day. They got to starve themselves half the goddamn day and half the night several times a week. That's because their God, their power is not close to them. You understand? The different gods that the Elamites worship, they have to get high. They have to have heroin and weed and not take baths and go and meditate for hours at a time. You understand? And sit there and chant and pray to statues and do all kind of karate moves and all kind of things and poses so that their God, so that they can conjure up getting to their God. Like the Christian church does not have God near to them. You got to summon God, singing and dancing and damn near having a heart attack, acting a goddamn fool, flipping, jumping all over the floor. That is not having the Lord nigh unto them. That does not have power near to us. You understand? What is the proof that none of those things have power near to us? Because our people worship the gods of the East Indians with the weeds and the dreadlocks. Our people worship Pharaoh. They pray to the crystals and burn the sage to ward off evil spirits. Nipsey Hussle's wife said that she burned sage in the house every time they came in and left to ward off evil spirits. That's what Nipsey Hussle's wife said. Now, he is a heathen and she is a heathen. You understand? Which means nothing to us whatsoever in our Isupk. However, that mindset of burning sage to ward off evil spirits, that didn't work. He left, went to work, and got murdered at work. You understand? But to the heathens, to the other nations of people, this is what it means to have their God and to see how our power fights for us. Poisoned the water in Egypt, gave the Egyptians hemorrhoids, flooded them, and destroyed their army, sent the death angel to kill their firstborn. You understand? Rained hail from the sky, opened up the earth and swallowed up people. That is why everyone tries to take a piece of the Bible's records and make it something for their people, which is also why it's so important and so wise that we never join another nation of people, because that gives them respectability. That gives them credence. That gives them a foothold for them to say, see, they co-signing for me. They co-signing for me. I'm cool because I stand next to him. DJ Khaled is popular and got accepted because of what reason? Because he stood next to Fat Joe and Big Pun. Fat Joe goes back and forth to prison. Big Pun gets killed. DJ Khaled is still making records, getting rich and rich and rich in some industry that he was never supposed to be accepted in. Same thing with French Montana. Everybody doing their blackety black things, their hood DVDs, throwing stacks of money in the camera, rapping, smoking weed on camera, fighting, going back and forth to jail, talking about they running through hoes. And here is some heathen who was never supposed to be allowed among you. He just sitting there filming and studying all the time. He's the DVD guy. He's the Arab in the hood. Is he Dominican? No, that's my man. He cool. Is he black? No, that's my man. He cool. Is he one of us? Yeah, he one of us. He from the block. Next thing you know, you're dead. He's in prison. They're in prison. They're going back and forth to jail. He's alive and well and healthy and rich from the reputation that he gained from being around you. You understand? That's why when Jeremiah 14:2 says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, mentally and physically and spiritually. We don't have a gate in our mind to understand that a heathen around us is just gaining their popularity. Same thing, all the R&B groups from the 90s. As a matter of fact, let me get to the next scripture, because all of that ties in. I'm getting ahead of myself. You understand? In verse 7, it says, for what nation is there so great, who have power so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God, as the Most High our power in all things that we call upon him for? You understand? And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous, as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself. Make sure you heed to yourself. It's important to remind yourself in your own spirit about these laws. When you go and see a woman you're attracted to, make sure you keep God's laws in your mind. Let me find out if she got a man. Let me find out. Let me make sure that she's one of us. Who is your father? Where are you from? You understand? Do you have a man? Do you have a husband? Let me make sure if you have a man or not. Let me ask the appropriate questions before we begin to dialogue and start to develop some sort of relationship and exchange phone numbers, and you get fond of me and I get fond of you, and then we move forward. Let me have this mindset so that I can teach my sons that every piece of tail is not a good piece of tail. Every smile is not a good smile. You understand? All meat is not good meat. So I can teach my sons wisdom so that they will have this once I am gone, so that they can teach my sons, so that one of them will be able to teach me the next time I come back in 4 or 5 generations. Like, that's how we have to think. And we stopped thinking that way once we integrated. That's why these laws are so very important. You understand? All right, so let's have these laws so close. Like, our rules in the Bible is what has shaped any sort of civilization. You understand? Life was nothing without the rules that the Most High gave to Adam. The Lord gave Adam rules. He gave Adam laws. He gave Adam instructions so that Adam knew what to do. He named the animals. He knew what to eat, what to plant, where, the seasons, the times. He knew when winter was coming, how to prepare. You understand? How to make wool and garments and tapestry. All of these things and skills. Life changed for the rest of the world from the knowledge that Adam gave to his sons, that his sons were supposed to hold, that they end up mixing and giving to the heathens, and the heathens used it to forward their own gods, not serve the Most High, like Christians and fake Israelites think everybody's going to serve the same God. No heathen is willingly going to serve the God of another nation. That's why Christ is the King of Kings. He's coming to cause war, to force everyone under the authority of his people. You understand? Not to make equality so that everyone can worship their own God. No one is going to do that. By nature, the first law of nature is self-preservation. You understand? Everyone automatically by nature is going to look and see what they can gather for their own. A rat, a roach, a possum, a raccoon, a fish, a lion, a bear, a bird. Everything is looking out for the future generations of his species, except for the most damaged thing that the Lord created in all of creation, which is these 12 tribes that don't understand that concept. You understand? So now let's go to Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 10. All right. Now we're going to go to Proverbs 5 and 10. All right. Shalom. The new brothers and sisters join the class. Yahweh by Shemal Shabbat. Yahweh Shemal Shemal shout out to the sisters. All right. Just make sure y'all sign in for attendance. Hit that thumbs up. All right. On YouTube, Facebook. I don't see any Facebook up. You understand? Maybe this is the channel here. Let me see. No stream is consider upgraded. See what you can. Let me see. Post was created on Facebook. Let me see. So, lucky y'all, bear with me just a moment. Okay. All right, Uraj, give me Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 1.
Come on, sir. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding.
He said, my son, listen to my wisdom and bow your ear to your understanding. Like, the purpose of the truth is to make sure that a nation is being built. That's why Christians don't understand the Bible. Fake Israelites don't understand the Bible. Outside of the Isupk, you can't understand the Bible, the Holy Spirit, the purpose of the Bible, the purpose of the truth, the purpose of the prophets, the purpose of the laws. You can't understand any of these things in a separate house, in a separate body. Like, the purpose of this is to make sure that a nation is formed and continue. We can't have a nation if everyone chooses their own leaders, takes and divides up the money 9 million different ways, and everybody makes their own leaders rich, and the Lord is not dealing with any of them, And you see that all the families and communities in the surrounding areas go absolutely to hell, and sisters fighting to murder off their goddamn babies, and nobody think anything is wrong except for the men that the Lord actually set up. You understand? Like, he's teaching this to his son so that his son could wield power. His son can understand the responsibility of power, so that we can understand the responsibility of what the Lord entrusted in us as the children of Israel. All right. And which we had to do repeatedly is to rebuild our nation. Every time we went in captivity, we had to rebuild our nation again, from Babylon, from Assyria, after Egypt. You understand? After being under the Elamites, after the captivity under King Ahasuerus and Xerxes, we had to constantly rebuild our nation over and over again. And these laws, statutes, and commandments, they're our lighthouse, how to get back to that cornerstone to rebuild our foundation. And it's going to absolutely be necessary, because there are more plagues coming. Even President Biden tell you there's more plagues coming. There's more COVID and other plagues that's not COVID that are also coming. There's more shutdowns coming. There's more shortages coming, not just of baby formula, not just of gas. There's more coming. They act a fool before America goes to war head up with Russia and China. China is still going to invade and try to take Hong Kong and Taiwan. They're still going to go and try to get those territories back. And America is going to be forced in war with them. Iran might make a move on Kuwait. Again, just like it was before, they're going to be forced to move. They got Iranian ships in that Strait of Hormuz, along with Russian ships and Chinese ships. They've been doing drills. They ain't doing it for fun. Like, this is what it says in the Bible. And of course, our people here don't know anything about any of that. The Strait of Hormuz and Russia and Iran and the Middle East, the average Black, Hispanic, and Native American, our lives revolve around trying to survive in America. And the Lord wants to get us out of that, trying to survive in America. I don't see anybody on Facebook. Yaraj, just check Facebook and make sure that the Facebook is up, if you could, real quick, Bob Kishar. Because I'm not seeing anything from Facebook. I know that sometimes it might come in a little later, but I don't see anything from Facebook. Just check that real quick. All right.
If I could.
Uh-huh.
Facebook is up. No one has entered the live.
Facebook is up. All right, Most High in Christ. That's all I want. All right, come. All right, so go ahead with that Proverbs. He's talking to his son. Go, give me verse 2.
So Proverbs chapter 5, verse 2. That thou, mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge.
He said that you may regard discretion. Be discreet. Don't have your business every damn where. Regard discretion. This is how you have power. This is how you wield authority. You understand that you be discreet. You regard discretion. You understand? There's certain things you talk about. There's certain things that you don't speak about. You understand? All right? Like, that's what he's saying to your son. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a right time to say things. There's a wrong time to say things. You understand? To understand power and order, there's a time when you should speak, when you should speak up. And there's a time when you should not speak, when you should hold your peace, when how you feel is not the right time to express all your feelings and just go off and blow up. We have a difficult time as a nation of people understanding that, because our lives are based around how we feel, because we have been raised without the proper authority and instruction of the wisdom that the Lord said. That is why in Isupk we are teaching our people the wisdom that the Lord said with his Holy Spirit, and why it's important that every Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child get in the Isupk to learn and rebuild this society, this world, the one that Christ died for, that the prophets died and fought and battled for so many, many times for the centuries of our history throughout the Bible. Hey, young man in Baltimore, shalom, brother. Y'all, all right. So keep going.
So verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb.
So, like, take me back to verse 2. Finish off the rest of 2 one more time.
Sir. The end of verse 2. And that thy lips may keep knowledge.
That your lips are supposed to keep knowledge. When they see you, they're supposed to say, well, they men is so wise there. that your lips is supposed to keep knowledge. You're supposed to understand knowledge, to be able to wield power and authority, not just talking out the side of your neck all the time, just rambling, just sounding stupid, just saying anything and not trying to speak with some sort of education. Like, people won't take you seriously. The nation won't take you seriously. That's why nobody respects our people. You understand? It's one thing to talk and, just speak amongst ourselves casually, but our lips should keep wisdom. You understand? Our lips should keep these laws and what the Most High said. That's our wisdom. You should have a lot of dialogue and conversations about that. Be discreet about how you're speaking, so that when people hear you, it makes you, when people listen to what you say, they're either going to hear you and think that this is an absolute nut that don't know anything about anything, and we should ignore everything that he has to say because he's stumbling, he's stuttering, he can't halfway talk, he can't think, his pants is halfway off his goddamn behind. You understand? You don't know what he's talking about, just as ignorant as can be. And that is what they said about the disciples. That's what they thought about the disciples until, at first glance, that's what they thought. Until they actually got up there to speak to them. Until they actually got up there to talk and speak to them. And then they said, is it these people here? As a matter of fact, let me get that swift. Perceived. You understand? Unlearned. You see that? Unlearned. They perceived that these men were unlearned. Because that's why Paul said, though I be rude in speech. You understand? Here we go. Acts, give me Acts chapter 4 and verse 13 real quick.
Oh, God, sir.
Just hold that real quick for me. Because as a nation of people, we all come from different walks of life. We all come from different places, different educational backgrounds. You understand? Brothers may have went to school and college and doctors and lawyers and got degrees. And there are brothers that did not. They may have had great education and horrible education, a wonderful upbringing and a terrible upbringing. Speak proper, don't speak proper. Can read, can barely read. Can speak, can barely speak. But as princes of the power, this is a school. The purpose of a school is to improve in things, to improve in your communication, improve in your thinking, improving in your actions, improving in how you carry yourself. You understand? And what you say, how you carry yourself, what you will and will not do, how you communicate, how you improve overall. That's the purpose of the Spirit of the Lord. You understand? You may have failed in school, but you're not allowed to fail in here. You may have been a horrible student that skipped class, that got F's, that got D's, that barely understood anything. But you can't come in here and remain a F student that doesn't understand anything on purpose. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to change. You're going to have discipline and be in order. You may have been a sister that said whatever you thought to come to your mind. Be this, be that. Oh, shit, I don't listen to that. You understand? But you got to learn how to change, how to operate the way that the Lord said. If you a sister that cannot control what you say out of your mouth, then it's best that you talk a lot less than you used to. And then you will be considered a very wise sister. She don't say a lot. She's so shamefaced and modest. You understand? Or if you a brother that talks a bunch of foolishness, that every time you open your mouth, you halfway embarrass yourself and everybody else around you, well, men will say, well, listen, brother, maybe you shouldn't talk. Now is not the time to talk. You should keep quiet. You shouldn't talk. Most of the time, you shouldn't talk. That's why when a brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. And apart from you, there's a time frame for you to grow, a time frame for you to change, a time frame for you to be the baby. You understand? And then there's a time and a season for you to grow, for you to improve, for you to not just improve. That's why he's teaching this wisdom to his sons. It's saying son because he's talking to his son, because a man is supposed to be in charge of everything. Our nation of people, men are not taught how to be in charge. Mommy is not raising a man to be in charge. Mommy is raising someone to substitute the fact that she does not have a husband 7 times out of 10. She's raising something that she can control and dictate how much you're going to do with your masculinity. You understand? And that is a demon. That's a spirit that Christianity puts on our people. One of the many demons that we have to get off of our people. That mommy is going to make it work. Mommy is going to pick up. Mommy is going to fix the problem. Mommy is going to take authority. Mommy has it. Like we teach brothers, you have to be able to be responsible for your own. One day you will have a wife and a family of your own. And your wife needs to look at you, or your wives need to look at you as wise and understanding. You understand? Someone that they can respect, that they can depend on. Someone that is improving themselves, not someone. That's why it's in the Apocrypha. It says a wife, if she maintaineth her husband, she kind of look at him towards disdain, like, damn, I always got to do this and this. He can't never do nothing. He's always messing up this and that. Like, you can't stay that brother. That may be fine for who you were in the world, but you can't stay that brother in the truth. You have to grow up. You have to be raised properly. You understand? Not the way that mommy taught you, not the way that grandma taught you, the way that the Lord has men in the Bible with his Holy Spirit teach how they would raise their sons. And that's why the Lord appoints a man to rule the nation. And that man appoints a camp leader to rule every city, state, and country in whatever zone they're in, so that that man can father and teach with the Spirit of the Lord to raise up these sons and daughters in the Lord's family in that area. That's why he's given this wisdom so that he can teach his son how to rule, so that that son can be a pillar of the nation once that father is no longer gone. You understand? These are very important lessons. These are things that a free man thinks about. A slave considers that there is always someone else whose responsibility it's going to be to make sure that everything falls in place. A free man is the falling things in place to make sure that things go well. And we have to be taught to transition. That's why we spent 40 years in the wilderness as a people. It wasn't a 40-year journey, but it took 40 years to teach our people to learn how to behave and live like free men with the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, other than just the niggas from the ghettos of Goshen in Egypt. You understand? We had to get that out of our spirit. You understand? So that we could be a nation. And that's what's in the Bible. And that is what these laws and the writings that were written beforehand for our learnings that Peter was talking about in 2 Peter, that is what all of these things compile to teach us to do. So that we are building a nation, because it's not just about you. It isn't just about me. It isn't just about her. It isn't just, your choice with your baby. This is how we have a nation to maintain across the board, so there will be something to inherit down the line. All right, so go ahead and finish what you read, Raj.
Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness.
Hold on, Salak. Where you reading that?
Acts chapter 4, verse 13.
All right, go ahead, read that.
Sir. Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and
they saw how strong these brothers were. They saw them talking. They saw they were strong. And at first, when you hear, just like you hear brothers talking on the street, what you talking about? You can't have no interracial marriage. Man, it's 2020. You talking about no interracial marriages. You living in the past. What you talking about? Segregation. That was 50, 60 years ago. We vote for our leaders now. What you talking about? Black Wall Street. All of that stuff back in the day. A man can have more than one wife. Don't abort your baby. We progressive. It's modern now. They old. They don't have no job. They not educated. Why aren't you at work? Why you taking care of your kids? All of the silly, ignorant things that you Christians have said to the Isupk over the years, until you found out once the smartphone and the cameras came around that didn't exist in the 60s when the school first started. Now you realize everything we said was absolutely right. And that is how they carried Peter and John and the rest of the disciples. And that's why it's written this way. So go ahead and finish that.
And perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men.
They thought that these was dumb, ignorant men standing on the street, dressing funny, talking crazy. You understand? Talking about the oppressor is the devil, and life didn't start in Africa, and Jerusalem is the motherland, and Christ is king, and the Roman Empire. And that talk that they did completely decimated the Roman Empire. And that's exactly what the truth is supposed to do. And America is the strong arm of the Roman Empire. You understand? That's too much to go into for the book of Revelations. For right now, we might do that in a later class, but that is the rebirth and the strength of the Roman Empire, the strength of Rome, the strength of that sheep that spake as a dragon but looked like a lamb, so innocent and peaceful, the power of Caesar Borgia, white supremacy spreading across the world under the guise of Christianity, Western philosophy, democracy, which later becomes abortion, feminism, the LGBT, pedosexual rights, cross-dressing rights, you understand, drug dealing, cocaine and heroin, ghettos, poverty, gentrification, and you getting kicked out of your own homeland while other people come and take it over. That's what comes with that spake as a lamb, spake as a dragon, but look as a lamb, that beast in Revelation. That's the oppressor, that great dragon that the Bible talks about. That was a serpent in the book of Genesis, talking about the so-called white man. That's what comes with it. And this teachings, the Spirit of the Lord and the teachings that Christ taught his disciples and what they did, that tore away at the fabric of Rome. Just like we bringing out in the truth once again, tearing away at the fabric of Rome spiritually. You understand? But keep going.
They marveled.
They was like, damn, what in the world are they talking about? Don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate birthdays and New Year's. Go back to black again. I don't want to live in that place, in that house, with them people and them cousins and all of them in that neighborhood. You understand? I don't want to live like that no more. That was the old way. Them big families and everybody everywhere, all these cousins, nobody want to do that anymore. It's modern and up to date. And they marveled at them like, where the hell they learn about all this from? Why are they talking like this? What is wrong with them? They're not Muslims. They're not Christian. They're not Black Panthers. They're not Democrats and Republicans. You understand? They're not Rastas. Like, what in the hell is up with these brothers? They marveled at them. Keep going.
And they took knowledge of them.
And they found out that these brothers had the real knowledge. These brothers knew some things. The hell you know that about Constantine? How you know about the future? How you know that the world is not flat? The circle of the world. How you know about this and the laws in the beginning and the writings of Job and Adam and things from the beginning and the prophecies? You get this power to heal the sick and raise the dead, and you breaking down the scriptures. These ain't no ignorant cats here. These brothers know what they talking about. These brothers on to something. Wait a minute. They got some knowledge here. They got some universal practical knowledge. Maybe they are the home of the truth. Let's listen to what they're saying. For all you simpletons that say these exact same things about the ISUPK since the 60s, you are reading about the ISUPK all throughout the Bible. You're just too simple to see it. You understand? Keep going.
That they had been with Yahushua.
Oh, they knew. Go ahead and read it like it's written.
Kind of a concept. That they had been with Jesus.
They knew that these men followed Christ. The things they were saying, the power that they had, they knew these men followed Christ. They knew when they went out on the street and taught, the Lord's authority was with them. In Acts the 17th chapter, some other men tried to go and use the popularity of doing what the Lord called his disciples to do. And a lot of you fake Israelite groups, we've been warning you time and time again. We've been warning you for decades now that the Lord was not with you. Your comeuppance, as it said in the old way, you're getting ready to find out. The fake Israelite group that like to wear the purple, they just found out a tiny bit of the hard way that the demons recognize who the Lord gave authority to in the ISUPK. But the demons did not recognize their authority. They went out in some church, and they got into some fight, and old church ladies was beating them and stripping them, and I was told a pastor pulled his pistol on them. Reverend Smallwood put a 45 in one of them purple cats' mouth in their face in broad daylight on the street, pulled the strap on them, you understand? And they froze. They didn't know what to do. You keep thinking you have free will and choice to go wherever you want to learn about the Bible. Keep thinking you can go join some old fake Israelite group because you don't want to be in your all black and you don't want to take orders. You don't want to say con out of one con. You don't want to stop smoking weed and getting shape up and having sex with heathens. You keep thinking that the Lord is with you outside of this one house that the Lord set up. You're going to see more and more stories like this, and it's going to turn up and it's going to get worse, and it's going to be more dangerous. And we've already warned everybody that it's coming. And when it shall come to pass, ye shall know that a prophet have been among you. We've been telling you nonstop. You are not allowed to go on the streets and teach the Bible. You have no authority to gather Black, Hispanic, and Native American and teach the Bible. Not a class, not a Bible study, not a fake Israelite group, a church, a mosque, nothing. You have no permission from God to lead or teach our people about serving the God of this Bible or any other God anywhere. You have no right from God to even sway our people to serve your God. You have no right to do such. And the Lord is going to fall on a lot of people for disobeying the warnings that the prophets have set up. But this blood, you're going to wear it because we warned you. Commander Junior Hunter gave a thorough warning. That's enough on that. All right. Y'all go check it out on your own. All right. So now they perceived that these men had been with Christ. They found out later on, after thinking that they was foolish and unlearned at first, that these men had the wisdom above all wisdom. And as more and more brothers and sisters woke up and followed them, all of that money and wealth that ran Rome, it started to fall apart. Just like it will fall apart the more and more that you separate from America. When you stop eating pork and we stop celebrating Christmas and stop celebrating Easter and stop celebrating Thanksgiving, stop celebrating 4th of July, the more and more America is going to fall. They ain't going to be able to sell fireworks. They won't sell any Mother's Day stuff. Their retail holidays is what's keeping the empire alive. Nobody in America is buying anything except for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When the last time you went to a grocery store and saw a Chinese man in line with you? Y'all type in. Type in. Please tell me the last time you went to Walmart, you went to Kroger, you went to, give me some of those grocery stores, not Kroger. Shop Right, Price Right, Aldi's, you understand, the Speedy Ziti, the Piggly Wiggly, whatever city and state that you in, the market, this market, Safeway, Giant, Food Lion, Aldi's, Weiss, Tedpit, Anon, Erica Mason, you understand this, brother? All right, brother, you keep signing in without your name. We're not gonna pay attention to y'all. We done mentioned that several times now. Paratazar, Yaraj, somebody type into me and tell me the last time you went to the grocery store and you saw a bunch of Chinese families in the store with you. Tell me, please. Somebody type in. Let me know. I'm gonna give y'all a second to type in. We got it here. Paratazar, Anna, sister down in Florida, Erica Mason, Shaz, Aram, Doc, you understand? Who? Anybody. I cannot tell you the last time I went to a grocery store and saw a Chinese man in line. A Korean, a Vietnamese, a Chinese man, an East Indian. You don't never see them at the grocery store. I couldn't tell you. You don't see them. Not at all. Ain't nobody in America buying a damn thing but us. The only reason that shoe sellers is making shoes is to sell you. Only people buying shoes is Blacks and Hispanics. You go into the ghetto right now and check that cabinet, and that cabinet might be empty. That refrigerator may have a half a gallon of water, that damn baking soda that nobody throws away. You understand? Might be a little bit of old milk, a couple of eggs, even though most of the carton is empty. It might be a half-eaten box of Cheerios that nobody ever throws away, or cornflakes, an empty sugar can in the cabinets, a couple of plastic utensils, some forks, a bunch of plastic bags under the sink, and 1,000 pairs of shoes. You understand? 100 pair of shoes, 100 pair of drawers, 100 pair of socks, 100 pair of dresses, 100 pair of hats and shirts and T-shirts and towels and blankets. Ain't nobody buying anything in America but us. Rich white men ain't buying anything. They're not buying clothes. They have an event. When they have an event, they all go to the event wearing the same suit. They all go to the event wearing the same suit. White women go to them award shows. Guess what? They all go to them award shows dressed up. See those same white women on the street without that award show, you won't even be able to recognize them. They're not getting dressed up. They're not dolled up. They're not royal. All kind of jewelry and 1,000 different pairs of outfits to match their hair and their nails and their car and their shoes and the baby in matching outfits. That's us. Nobody else doing that. Buying all the gold, all the jewelry, paying all the damn rent, getting cars and rims and seats and interior decorations to match the damn car, souping up the car, putting rims on it. Ain't nobody buying nothing in America but us. You understand? It says if you are married to another nation, can I come to class? Well, you can come to class. Who you're married to doesn't, you understand? If you in the world and you marry some heathen, you can come to class. If you are a man and you're an Israelite, you can come to class. If you are a woman and your father is so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you can come to class. If you are a woman and you have children by that heathen, they cannot come to class. If you are a brother and you are married to some heathen, your wife cannot come to class. You understand? If you married some heathen and she already had kids and they are heathens, those kids cannot come to class and your wife cannot come to class. But any Israelite can come to the school. Any non-Israelite is not welcomed. You understand? Baby, boy, man, woman, girl, child, they cannot come in because this place is holy. All right? Correct. Like Arna said, they have their own stores. And what does that mean if they have their own store? That means that they own that store. They're supplying that store. They have their own goods. They have their own store in their communities, in their neighborhoods, that even though they have businesses in our communities, they have their own stores in their communities. So when it's time for them to go shopping, they're not putting money into the economy like you and I are putting money into the economy. They're putting money from getting it from us in our community and then take the money that they get from our community and then put it into their hands and then put it into their brother's pocket in their community, and he puts it into their store, and then he takes it and gives it to their son, and their money just circulates around them that they are getting from us. So when I say that no one else is buying anything, they have businesses and things that are set up in the empire, but we are the ones that are putting what we get everywhere in the empire. We're dispersing it everywhere. You understand? To the East Indians and the Elamites, they the ones that's running all the clothing stores. Hey, my friend, you see, you like my friend. Got all the suits and the hats. They know exactly what you like to wear in your style and flavor. How do they know that? Because they're marketing it. The only reason they have it is to sell it to us. That's the only reason they have it. They don't have it so that they can sell it to their own people, because their people don't dress like us unless they are trying to get a job, like pretending to be a rapper, which is what I mentioned before, like French Montana, like who's that other heathen I named, like DJ Khaled. Unless they need to stand next to us because it'll be financially beneficial for them, and in 10 years of standing next to you, now they got the reputation that, oh, he was with him back in the day, and now he's cool. He can continue the job of pretending to be one of us. Like, this is what the Lord was telling us about. You understand? So now, drop that, take me back to Proverbs chapter 5, where we were. All right. Take me back. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb.
He's telling his son, my son, the lips of a strange woman drops as a honeycomb. You understand? The lips of a strange woman drops as a honeycomb. It says, how would it affect my standing within the school? Well, first thing you need to do is you need to actually be in the school. So you be in your all black, do your 90 days, contact the camp in your school. Contact whatever city and state that you in. The Isupk has a class list. You go to isupk.com and you search for the Isupk camp in your school. In your city, your area, your state, your zone, there's a phone number on our school's website. And you can find the phone number for all of our schools, the listing for all of our schools. If you're in Pittsburgh, there's an ISUPK number for you to contact and find out about joining the school in Pittsburgh. If you're in Baltimore, there's an ISUPK number to contact and find out about joining the school in Baltimore. If you are in Richmond, there's a number for you to contact in Richmond. If you are in Newport News, or if you are in Norfolk or Lynchburg, there's a number for you to contact. If you're in D.C. or South Carolina or North Carolina or Texas or Mexico or the U.K., you understand? If you are in El Salvador, there's a number for you to call to find out how to join the school. So you go right to the ISUPK website, and then you will get instructions. What you don't want to do is sit for years on the internet, liking videos and commenting, and not getting in the school. You don't want to do that. You understand? It says, me leaving is against the law. Correct. I can't break the law to correct another. It says you leaving. Okay, you're in Norfolk. Have you contacted the Norfolk school? Have you contacted the school in Virginia to see about getting into the actual school in Virginia? That's the first thing that you want to do. You want to do that. You understand? That's the first thing you want to do, because when you contact the school, you can get counsel from the school. That's why we got the numbers there. It's on all of our videos. That's what you want to do. It says, how will it affect your standing within the school? Well, that's your first step. All of those other questions are irrelevant if you don't contact the school. You understand? You contact the school, you get all the answers, all the counseling and everything to do. You understand? You don't have to sweat any of that. If your mother, if your father, if your cousin, your aunts, your uncles, it wouldn't matter if they are an Israelite or not. 9 times out of 10, your family is not coming to the school. You understand? Most of our families are not coming to the school. The biggest hindrance that anyone has to worry about is, are you willing to serve the Most High if it is not convenient and favorable by anybody? You understand? You can have a mother that is an Israelite. You can have a father. Tons of brothers and sisters have, you understand, Israelite family, that they are a hindrance to them coming into the school because they love that mother and father more than they love Christ. And because they choose their family over serving Christ, then they are no good to the work of the Lord. It wouldn't matter if they were married to a white man or a black man, or a white woman or a black woman. It would be completely irrelevant. It wouldn't matter. Because if mommy disapproves and you are afraid of mommy, you won't stand for the Lord anyway. If mommy is white or if mommy is black. If mommy is your God, then the Lord doesn't stand a chance. If your woman is your God, like plenty of brothers, there's been tons of brothers that intend to serve the Lord until it conflicts with them having to stand against mommy's happiness or against grandma's happiness or against their wife's happiness and their approval. You understand? And of course, when it comes to that, most of our people are so very, have been trained by the Christian church to be weak underneath of a woman, to let a woman do whatever she wants, say whatever she wants. She's always right. She must always be made happy. That is why the Lord did not intend for a woman to be given all of this power that America gave our women. Because the other nations of women do not have power like this in America. The Chinese woman is not empowered in America. And because of that, the Chinese community flourishes in your neighborhood and their neighborhood. I now said they got their own damn stores. That's why they're not going to the grocery store with us, but they have a store down the street from our house. You understand? And that is what America knew by destroying our families and putting the women in charge, that this would happen. That's exactly what Pharaoh tried to do back in Egypt. That's why he said, kill all the male children, but leave the women alive. You understand? So don't worry about that. Just, Uraj, put the number to the school in there, and we will see, brother, if you are serious about actually getting into work to serve the Most High. We make this announcement and call. America's going to be wrapped up soon. America's going to be wrapped up soon. There's plenty of work to do in serving the Lord. There's plenty of work to do. You understand? In every city, every state, there's tons of work to do. Christ said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. You understand? There are few laborers. There are few brothers and sisters that are willing to get in to do the actual work to build up the nation, because it requires a conflict with their lives and how they're living now. But that's all. You married to some heathen, don't sweat none of that. Serving the Lord doesn't have anything to do with your mother, your woman, your child. It doesn't have anything to do with any of that. You understand? That's all you do. But that is why we're reading this scripture here. You understand? That's why we're reading this scripture. Hey, shalom, Lord of Christ. Go ahead and finish that proverb. That's what you do. Call the school number after class. We'll see if you're serious, brother. Just give the school a call. Be in your all black. Every time you have class, you be in your all black. Contact the school and declare that you actually want to be in the school, that you want to be a trooper in the school, that you want to do the work of the Most High, and we'll see if you are serious. We'll see. You understand? We'll see. 757-550-1204. You understand? The number is in service. It's in service, brother. Call that number and leave a voice message. That's what you do. Call it after the class. Just give it a call after the class. All right? So go ahead and finish that Proverbs chapter 5. Give me 5 and 3 again.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb.
The lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. Man, you might look at a heathen woman, and because she's so different, it might seem like it's something strange to you. It drops as a honeycomb. It drops as a honeycomb, and things that what she's saying, she's so nice and so sweet and so kind. It's so different from that rough, hard oppression that you might get from a sister that is living with her people destroyed, her nation destroyed, her family destroyed, not having her father, communities destroyed. All of these things are going on. You understand? It's such a contrast from how our people are living in oppression to you talking to some free Chinese woman or some free woman that is, that has her name, her language, her heritage, her forefathers. They got their land back in their country, and they are established as a nation. They're not wandering looking for an identity like your people are. So it may seem that the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb because you're not used to this woman. You're thinking it's something so wonderful and exotic. Oh, she's from Africa, the motherland. Or she's from China, Beijing, and the geisha, and all of these old silly things that you understand you might have in your mind, thinking that the women of another nation are more special, more precious, and better than so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. You understand? We got sisters, man. Go find you a sister from Guatemala, El Salvador. Find you a sister on you understand, from the tribe of Gad or Reuben. Sister from Brazil or Peru or Puerto Rico, Bolivia. Or a sister from another state, from Louisiana, Texas. You understand? A sister from Canada, sister from California. We got sisters in all shades, all colors, accents, hair textures, everything, skin tones, all kind of things, man. None of that makes you an Israelite or not. You just have to make sure that her father is one of these. But a strange woman, a heathen woman, you are not to go and marry her. And this is some of the most destructive things to maintaining power amongst your people. You bring in a heathen to split your inheritance with them. So keep going.
In her mouth is smoother than oil.
Her mouth is so smooth. When Kanye West first met Kim Kardashian, oh, he loved her so much. He didn't care that Ray J had been with her and passed her around. He didn't care that Reggie Bush had been with her and passed her around. About 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other brothers that passed her around. You understand? Like the collection plate in church. She didn't care about none of that, man. He didn't care. Her lips talked so smooth and so sweet, and he was just so in love, and he made songs for that white woman. You understand? They didn't care about Amber Rose and Kanye. And Amber Rose was on her 5th black man. And then Kanye came. And then, Wiz Khalifa got some of it. And she was done with him and passed him around. You understand? And then after Wiz Khalifa was that, then 21 Savage. And then she just hold her way up to $1 million from stripping to modeling to hoeing her way all the way to the top, just like Lil Kim said. And now she up there. She hold her way to the top. But the lips of a strange woman, like Tiger Woods, he don't want to deal with no old black woman, no old woman, you understand, like his people. He only wanted white women. All the white women he could get. That's what he wanted. O.J. Simpson wasn't hear nothing about no black women. He wanted white women. Bill Cosby, them white women. That's who stood up in that damn courtroom. 800 white women saying Bill routinely drugged us. Every time I went back, Bill Cosby put a Molly in my drink. And I woke up wearing a different outfit than I went to sleep in. Every single time I went to Bill Cosby's room, this kept happening. Over a 30-year period, all 70 of us. You understand? Bill Cosby, he thought that strange woman, it wasn't like, you understand, black and Hispanic women. He didn't like that. He needed that strange woman because she talked so sweet. She was so nice. She didn't have that rough talk like, you understand, you might get from a sister. She didn't have that. And not all sisters are like that. It's kind and sweet and humble sisters that'll brighten up a room, that'll brighten up your day. Not every sister is a monster. They promote the monster on TV. They promote that monster in the TV shows and everything, man. They don't promote what's righteous and loving and sweet and wonderful. That's what we promote here in the Isupk. We changing the tide about how our people are perceived in the world and amongst ourselves, being wise and understanding people with this knowledge from the Most High. All right? So keep going.
Verse 4. But her end is bitter as warm wood.
Oh, her end is so bitter as wormwood. It's a type of wood. Wormwood. It's a type of wood. Her end was so bitter. Ask Terrence Howard about the end of that relationship that he had with that white woman. He thought it was so much better. He thought it was so much better. The only thing he ever did in his career, besides being War Machine in the Iron Man movies much later, was for him to pretend to be a pimp in some role in the ghetto somewhere. He was the same character, movie after movie after movie, from Hustle and Flow. He was the same damn character. Some old pimp with Jerry curls, curled out hair. That's all he's ever done. You understand? That's all he's ever done. But he didn't want no old black woman. He didn't want that. He said, I hate hip hop. And his whole career is based around living that hip hop life and being in hip hop music. What's that music show he got with Taraji P. Henson? Is it Empire, or what's the one with the gay Edomite that said that he got kidnapped in Chicago? Is it Empire? That's what it is? Yeah, something else about hip hop. That's all he's ever had, was making success about being black. That's it. He didn't want no black woman, though. He went and got him a white woman. And he was in the courtroom crying crocodile tears as that white woman got more than half of all of his wealth. Because, read that again.
But her end is bitter as warm wood.
Her end is so bitter. Ask Kanye West how that white woman, he made that song with Future. All your mama ever made was trophies, right? Talking about how all them nasty Kardashian women was trophies. Oh, cave woman. You done shaved all the fur, all of them, and then paint them up to look like human beings, and now you talking about they trophies after everybody done passed them around. Well, guess what? The end of that is bitter. She back to white men now. That white man got tattoos of your kids on him, having sex with your wife in your mansion. You understand? And you can't see your own kids as the hoe that you married, putting your kids on TikTok to do TikTok dances. You understand? But you thought she was a trophy. The end of that interracial marriage is so bitter. When you trying to raise your black children that you made with this white woman, and you trying to do little pretty black girl hairstyles, and she don't want them ghetto beads in her white baby's hair. She don't want them braids in her white baby's hair. She don't want you teaching her white baby how to be black. She don't want that ghetto hood culture with the beads in the hair and the curls and cornrows. She don't want that. She want a white baby. But your simple behind went and made a black baby with a white girl, and now the bitterness of trying to split your child in half, that you made a baby with your slave master's daughter, you dummy. You understand? And now it has destroyed our people. It has destroyed our people. Not saying anybody in here, but Kanye West did not understand that. And he promoted that, and he put it in our people's face like our people were wrong for wanting black women. He threw it in our people's face. He said sex with a white woman is so much better than sex with a black woman. He threw that in our people's face. And now that white woman took his kids, got his mansion, and somebody taunting him night and day. Talking about, I got your kids. You see, look at your kids on my shoulder. That's your daughter right here. This is all four of your kids. Me and your wife and your kids. We live. That's the end. Bitter. O.J. Simpson learned the hard way. Michael Jackson learned the hard way. Got 3 white babies. Them babies look nothing like Michael Jackson with not one drop of black DNA whatsoever in blanket, hopscotch, and sandal. The 3 white babies that he made got no part of Negro in them whatsoever, but they got all his money. And so does Elvis Presley's daughter. He had to learn the hard way. That bitterness of choosing another nation of people. You learned that as he bleached his skin, chopped up his nose, permed and processed his hair, got rid of that black nose, that ethnic Afro hair that we made him famous, loving and supporting him when he was a child. And that father made him an excellent performer, him and those brothers, and tried to get that weird feminine spirit off of him, that he's seen that his son was weird as hell, that he tried to get off of him the best way that he knew how, being some brother in the world. And the only son that turned out weird as hell is the one that hated his fathers. You understand? He said, I understand my son is Ephraim. Okay, you from the tribe of Ephraim, brother? My son, mom is Ephraim. Your son's mom is Ephraim. Yeah, Ephraim, you understand, as long as you understand, an Israelite. It doesn't matter. A lot of our people, because of slavery and Christianity, think that I had this conversation, think that someone who's light-skinned, that you're white because your skin is light, or you don't have an afro, or your nose is not a certain shape, or your lips aren't a certain thickness. All of that is silly slave nonsense. None of that determines what race you are. The seed of your father determines what race you are. A ton of black people, believe that because your hair is light, or if you have freckles, or if your nose is straighter instead of round, or if you can't dance, you don't have rhythm, or if you talk proper, or if you don't like hip hop and R&B, then that makes you white. None of that means anything. The only thing that matters is who your father is. Your father determines what you are. Your mother, it does not matter what your mother is or was. Only your father determines what you are. You understand? And that's it. That's that. Don't sweat that. Hey, shalom, brother. Lord of Christ. All right. What you said, a breakdown of Matthew 5 and 14. All right, let's get that real quick. The Lord said the end of being with a heathen. You understand? The end of being with a heathen, that's destructive. It destroyed our people. Martin Luther King enjoyed them white women. And then one of them white women had a white man that put a bullet in him. That was the end of that. He found out the bitterness of those interracial relationships. Martin Luther King pushed for all black people, not only to have interracial relationships, but for us to think interracially. And when we started to think like a different race of people, then we started selling dope, prostituting our sisters, pimping each other, murdering each other, killing off our babies with abortions, and then our families and communities fell apart. Like, that's what the Lord said. The end is bitter as wormwood. You understand? So let's get that Matthew 5 and 14, and let's see what the brother's question.
Come on, sir. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world.
All right. You are the light of the world. God's chosen people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are the light of the world. We give the world its light, its flavor, everything that makes the world function properly and efficiently comes from our people. The laws and the law, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, they lighten the world. The rules about, do you imagine how many people got sick because they did not know that you have to drain the blood out of the food before you eat it? In third world country places, like I use Africa for example, because that's damn near where all diseases start. They drinking blood and sticking their head up a damn elephant's behind, you understand, causing a bunch of hepatitis and all of those tattoos you see where they taking needles and scarring with a damn razor blade, causing you to bleed, drawing lines all over your damn face with them silly tribal markings. Well, guess what? When you take a razor blade and you cut somebody, it gets blood on there. That blood's got DNA, it's got life in there. And you take that razor blade and cut somebody else, you introduce the blood from the first person into a second person. The laws in the Bible teach you how to sterilize things. Like if someone is sick, you quarantine them. That's why the medical practice has something called quarantine today. That comes from the Bible. Washing your food before you cook it. Washing your behind. You know how much disease. If you went a few days, a few weeks without washing and bathing regularly, you would start to get sick. Your health would deteriorate. You would start to develop scabs, itches. The bacteria would grow and multiply. You would get sick. It would cause you health problems. The reason that everybody on the planet bathes regularly, it is not their culture to wash on a regular basis. That is Israelite culture, to wash on a regular basis. A lot of the sickness that the Europeans had came from them not bathing regularly, like once or twice a day, still barely bathe. In slavery, we taught the other nations how to bathe themselves every day. That's why they aren't sick all the damn time. We taught them how to sanitize things, how to not take dumps in the drinking water like the Africans do in a lot of their countries. They go out on the beach, and instead of it being a wonderful beach, it's an open toilet where everyone is taking a dump. Like in India, that damn river in India that's supposed to be so holy that they bathe in the river in India, well, they take dumps in the damn water in India. The Rastas that black people like getting them dreadlocks and smoking that weed, they believe it's impure to wash and bathe yourself every day, which is why you can't be a Rasta black man, because you're going to wash and bathe your behind every day, and that is against the teachings of Lord Shiva. That's against their teachings and practice. You're just supposed to sit, get high, and not wash your hair, and let it mat up as you get high and not bathe. You understand? But of course, you don't know, because it's not your goddamn culture. You got no business trying to be a Rasta. You learned that from the East Indians, who were the new oppressors that the British put in charge of the plantations after slavery was outlawed. But of course, if you've never been taught history, like most of our people have not, you don't know what the hell you worshiping. That's why it's imperative that we turn back and serve the Most High, so that the prophets that God set up can teach our people the correct way He said to live and have wisdom. All right? So those are just a few examples. Like draining all the blood out of the meat before you eat it. But there was a time, and our oppressor still does that. He eats the meat medium rare, got blood coming out of it and all kind of stuff there. And now they have something called the Food and Drug Administration. And the FDA is telling you that by you consuming undercooked or raw meat that still got blood in it, you increase your chance of getting blood-borne illnesses and pathogens, and you could make yourself sick and get salmonella and food poison if you don't wash your goddamn food and drain all the blood out of it. Guess what? The Bible, God told us to do that before there was an FDA. Back in Egypt, back in Adam's day, God gave these instructions. You understand? So those are just a few small examples. Like I'll give you another one. Herding cattle. I watched the video with it, and the heathen is so silly. I watched the video. You know, they worship cows in India. They worship the cow. So you go, like you walking around the neighborhood, you might see brothers, they got their pit bull chained up outside. They got their you understand, the pit bull, the Rottweiler outside, you know, might have some other type of dog just sitting there, just around, being big and everything. But the dog might be chained up. Every now and then you might get a pit to get loose, running through the neighborhood, ain't supposed to be chained up. People, yeah, get your goddamn dog, man. Okay, you'll see that in our communities. But if you go to India, they worship the damn cow. The cow is, outside like he's a goddamn pit bull. And they got videos of people just walking by the cow like this is not a goddamn cow right here. And the cow is just run over some old man with a damn walker because they too dumb to have their cow tied up. They treat the cow like the cow is one of the family, and it's a cow. It's taking a dump everywhere. It's flattening your land, destroying your goddamn everything because it's a cow. And then there's another video where the cows is getting into a fight. They in the middle of the street. Some dummy is on his scooter, some old man on his walker, and 2-3 people trying to push their food cart, and 2 cows is in the street having a goddamn gang fight, knocking everything over, crushing the trucks, flipping, fighting in the street because they don't adhere to the laws in the Bible that you're supposed to have your damn cattle wrangled. You can't let this 2,000 pounds of steak and muscle just do whatever the hell it wants. If you don't put it in its place, it will be every place. That's why we have laws like that in the Bible. Otherwise, your city will be filled with wild animals and you can't have a civilization. If it's a goddamn lion and cheetah and buffalo and gazelle and monkeys on the goddamn loose, cattle and goats running through your city, knocking everything over, you can't have anything. Well, if you're a heathen, this is how you live. Or you've taken our records from the Bible and learned that you can't just let all the animals run wild because you'll have a goddamn zoo. And that's how they made society based on our laws. So when the Bible says ye are the salt of the earth, we give the earth flavor. We put things in order, its proper place so that society can function. You understand? I think a trooper lives in my neighborhood, Popular Hall, Norfolk. I'm going to call. I need to get y'all place respect. This is what you do. You talking to a captain right now. So you need to you call that number after class. You call the number, and that's what you do. You call that number. You follow those specific instructions there, brother. You call that number, and we will see. You get in your all black, contact the school, and that's what you want to do. All right. A trooper or a captain lives in your neighborhood. All right, well, you don't have to think who lives in your neighborhood. All you have to do is just follow those very specific instructions, brother. Contact the school, and you will get very specific and detailed instructions on the next steps for you to take to actually be in the school and get into the work, brother. That's all you got to do. You don't have to guess about nothing, all right? So give me the rest of 14.
Kawakan, sir. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
A city on a hill cannot be hid. He's using the metaphor as a city on a hill because it's a high place. Our ways and the light that we shine is so far above everybody else on the earth, we can't be hid. We can't be hid. You understand? The amount of talent when you put us in a boxing ring cannot be hid. You can't hide Mike Tyson knocking everybody out in 7 seconds. You can't hide Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson. You can't hide blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans, and Cubans when you put them in a boxing ring and put gloves on their hand. You can't hide them. You understand? You can't hide the fact that the Red Tails is doing all the killing for America. You can't hide the Navajo code talkers making sure that the Germans can't decrypt the messages across enemy lines in world wars. You understand? You can't hide the fact that, you understand, the Buffalo Soldiers help you defeat the Native Americans so that you can get your independence, even though you doubled back and crushed and killed them and their families for centuries to come. Like, you can't hide our inventions and things. That's why I said they've made no account of our labors. You understand? They made no account of the things that we did. Like, we are here. Imagine Egypt without the pyramids. Egypt is known for the pyramids, right? When everybody thinks Egypt, they think the pyramids. They aren't thinking about the sand. They aren't thinking about the tourist trip. They're thinking about the mummies and the pyramids. That's what everybody's going to see. We built those pyramids, those treasure cities in Egypt. We built that. It talks about it in Exodus, the 1st chapter. We were in Egypt for 350 years. We were in Egypt, and we built those pyramids. Without the pyramids that we built, what is Egypt's reputation? What did Egypt do or have that anyone talks about besides the pyramids? What? Like, that's it. Like, everywhere we go, we build what everybody talks about. This laptop that we on right now, a black man made that. The Chinese didn't make laptops. The Japanese did not make laptops. The white man did not make the laptops. The Russians and the Germans did not make the laptops. A black man made the laptops. The refrigerator, the freezer, the icebox, blood storage, the GPS, the cell phone, luggage, you understand, the mobile refrigeration unit to transport cold produce and medicine across all up and down the highway, that comes from our people. Like, we are the light of the earth. And as a nation of people, we are a city that is on a hill so far above everyone else. No one could touch our people if we obeyed the Lord. That's why the entire Old Testament, when we were free, all we did was have wars against the other nations of people because they were aiming at the city on the hill. They were trying to enslave us, trying to capture us, trying to take over us. Everything the world has, it got from us. You damn right, brother. Think about the music. All of those white boy bands that they created, they were trying to duplicate your Boys to Men, your Temptations, your Shy-Lights, your Earth, Wind, and Fire, your Ohio Players, your Brick, your Manhattans, your Four Tops. You understand? All your soul singers, your blues and jazz, they tried to reduplicate what you made. All the Shaka Khans and Stephanie Mills and Gladys Knights and Aretha Franklins and Nina Simone's, they tried to duplicate our music their way. Country doesn't come from them. Elvis didn't make that. Rock and roll doesn't come from them. That's Muddy Waters. You understand? All of that. Billie Holiday. None of that music comes from them. None of those instruments, none of that. Rock and roll, disco, electronica, none of those things come from white people. Techno doesn't come from the Asians either. A sister made that up. You understand? Everything we did, the world has. Cooking your food. You understand? Washing every day. Different changes of clothes back and forth. The heathen ain't changing their clothes like that. You can go in a store on a regular basis and see they wearing the same clothes every day. Damn near. That's our custom. All of the changes of clothes and different shades and wearing jewelry, putting jewelry in your teeth and your mouth. That's our custom. The other nations didn't do that. What prince in Europe is wearing gold chains around their neck? What Jewish man you seen with a mouthful of diamond teeth? They ain't doing that. That's Israelite customs. You understand? So that's what it's talking about. Get that 16. I believe that brother's question had 16 too. Unless that answer all your questions, brother.
Colonel Constance Slacky, sir. His question is in says 16 too, sir. I thought it was 15.
He said 14 and 16.
Oh, Colonel Constance, sir. Verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Like, your light so shine before men. That light is talking about the truth. So light shine. Let the works in the truth shine so that they can see the good works and then glorify the Most High, which is in heaven. Right now, as a people, the light of serving the Lord is not what is shining on our people. We got the light of having abortions. We got the light of, you understand, our families being destroyed. The light of shooting all in the streets and in the ghetto. The light of getting arrested in massive gang sweeps. 30 in the Bronx, 40 in Memphis, 40 in Arkansas, 30, 40 in Georgia, in New York, in New Jersey. That's the light that's being shined on us right now. Our communities being taken over, getting gentrified. We getting set out. Our families is split up and marriages is failing. You understand? Women being a damn man. A man putting on a dress, being a woman. Getting AIDS and hepatitis and disproportionately joining the other nations of people in their LGBT lifestyle and disproportionately being the people getting all the diseases and getting sick and dying the most. That's the light that's shining on us now. This is not talking about dunking a basketball or rapping, spitting a verse. Like, that's the light shining on us now. But that's not the light that this is talking about. This is talking about the light of serving the Most High, of being God's chosen people, turning back to our heritage, turning back to our original language, learning that Hebrew. You understand? Coming back to our culture, putting on our garments again, being in order, rebuilding our nation. You understand? Stop being individuals, getting out of Islam and all of these religions and Christianity and turning back to serving the Most High, obeying the God of our fathers and our customs with our wisdom. You understand? That's the light that is going to glorify the Most High by us turning back and serving the Lord, not going to church. That does not glorify the Most High. You understand? All right. So let me know if that answers your question. If not, you understand, we'll get some more, but we got to head back to Proverbs chapter 5. So that same brother, all right. Just make sure you sign in for attendance, brother. That attendance sheet and link there, you sign in for attendance, and your information will go to that attendance, brother. That brother, you said you in Norfolk, just make sure you do that, and then contact the school after class. And everybody else in Norfolk or Virginia, make sure that you contact the school as well. All right, so you can get into the actual work. All right. So now let's go back to Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 10.
So Proverbs chapter 5, verse 10. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth.
The Lord says strangers will be filled with thy wealth. That's what we were talking about. Other nations of people will have all of our wealth. We won't have our own stores anymore, because now that we became modern and we became American and up to date, a white man is going to be responsible for how you get your beef. There was a time when we raised our own cattle and our own chicken and our own goats, but that was old fashioned and that was country. And the more modern and American way was to have America provide your beef. And since America provides your beef and your chicken, you don't control your own food supply. Now another nation of people is in charge of feeding your people, and your people have to go without because you don't have your own supply anymore, like the Lord said. That's another consequence of following Martin Luther King. In Kansas, in the Midwest, and in some certain states, they got their own beef. They got their own cattle and raising their own goats. We don't need more jets and Ferraris and gold teeth and chains and rings and phantoms and yachts. We need beef. We need chicken. We need goats and cattle. We need livestock. We need fields of greens and apples and peaches and pears and tomatoes. You understand? Everybody trying to sell dope. We need grocery stores, black-owned grocery stores. That's what we need, where we have our own fresh lettuce and fruits and vegetables so that we can get some sort of nutrition and stop eating hand to mouth from our oppressor, depending on them for everything. We had a sense of ourselves, but now our wealth and our labor, we working in their factory processing their chicken for Tyson and Richland Farms in Kirkwood. And as a result, Kirkwood decides if there's chicken for us to eat and how much we have to pay Kirkwood for chicken, as opposed to us having our own chicken. So when America runs out of chicken and America has a shortage of beef and America has a shortage of baby formula and America has a shortage of gas, we'll have our own gas stored somewhere. We'll have our own chicken. We'll have our own beef. You understand? Joseph interpreted that a famine was coming to Egypt. A famine was coming to the land of Canaan. That's why that's why Jacob and the rest of Joseph's brothers, you understand, the 70 souls that walked into Egypt physically, and we moved into the land of Goshen because there was a famine in our land in Canaan, and Joseph was able to interpret the dream with the gift the Most High gave him to tell Pharaoh that a famine was coming to Egypt. So when famine struck everywhere, the place that the Lord had blessed with a prophet like Joseph was not affected by the famine to where everybody died and suffered, was able to come out on top, including our own people. Like the Lord would tell us things if we were separate, because we obeying the prophet that God set up, which is Commander General Yohana. The Lord give us a separate set of instructions that the rest of the heathen and our people in the world will not get. Like not befriending some devil at a grocery store because he might double back and kill everybody, or letting some devil at your church because he might double back and murder everybody. You understand? Like that's important. That's why the one of the commandments in the Bible that make us wise is that Deuteronomy 18, I will raise up a prophet from among thee, and I will put words in his mouth. And everybody is supposed to listen to him. That's why that's in the law. Nobody think that law matters. Everybody go find their own damn leader. When the Lord has always only set up one man to be in charge that he dealt with. This time is no different. All right. So go ahead and finish where you're at.
God, sir.
All right.
Let strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger.
Strangers be filled with thy wealth. Meaning another nation of people has your wealth. That's what the Bible was talking about. All of this, once again, comes from joining the other nations of people. It said, a stranger be filled with thy wealth. That's the exact example we was given. It said, you shall serve thine enemies in want of all things, in hunger, food, clothing, nakedness. You want clothes? Elam got your clothes. He got your suits. Elam and Ishmael, my friend. He got your Jordans. He got your New Balance, your suits, your top hats, your boilers. He's selling you your fabric, your sheep. We don't have our own sheep and cattle and leather anymore because we stopped doing what made us a nation so that we can go and join America. And as a result, a heathen has our labor and our wealth, as opposed to the wealth staying with us 100% because we producing and consuming what we produce. Now we only consuming what everybody else produces. Like I said earlier, we the only ones in America that's spending money with other people. When is the last time that anybody black that you know that has a business, a black grocery store, if you can find one, a black corner store, a black clothing store, a black t-shirt maker, all the beads and soaps and things. When have you had the Chinese come into your black business, wherever it is, and support that black business? When have you had the Arabs come into your black business? When have you seen Arabs supporting your black business or any black business? When have you seen that? When have you seen the Africans come and support your black business or anyone you know who is black that has a business? When have you ever seen that? A Korean, a Filipino, a Vietnamese? When have you seen that? A white man? The white man come and get soaps from your cousin? Come and get oils and incense from your cousin? You understand? Nobody supporting us but our own people. But we support everyone, and this is what the Lord was telling us, that it all started from us joining another nation of people. That's how imperative it is. And the way that we separate is, hey, shalom, sis. The way that we separate is we don't take their customs. We don't take their holidays. We don't celebrate their 4th of July. This is just how we start. Don't celebrate any of their holidays. And as you just start there, you will start to find out why our people are in captivity. Why we're in captivity. Because as you go to tell grandma, mommy, cousin, friend, well, we don't eat pork. So what do you mean you don't eat pork? You've been eating pork your whole life. Well, I found out that God said we weren't supposed to eat pork. So I'm going to stop eating pork. And then you're going to find the level of resistance. Well, your mom, I love you, but I ain't celebrating Mother's Day because I found out that's the worship of a heathen God. And we're not supposed to serve another God. You know that the Bible say that God is a jealous God. And that make God angry. Remember them people got killed in that church? Like that's what happened. Like the Lord told us, don't do that. They said, okay. All right. And see if they accept that and say, well, I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving. I'm not celebrating Christmas either. Those are against the Lord. We don't do that anymore. What's wrong with you? Who you listening to? What you changing? You too good to say, well, this is what God said. Everybody's saying they love God. Well, I'm trying to take serving God seriously. It don't take all of that. You don't have to do all of that. 9 times out of 10, that's the response you're going to get. You understand? Because our people don't want to serve the Most High. Don't even have a concept of the God of the Bible. So that's why when it says, like the brother's question, let your light show shine. Like your light gonna shine, you stand in the truth, but you got to be willing to stand for it. Most of our people is not willing to stand for the Most High in adversity. If it doesn't make mommy happy or your wife happy or your cousin happy, I mean, well, we can't do it. Christ said, well, why didn't you serve me? Well, Christ, I was going to come into the school, but my mom, I told her about Mother's Day, and my grandma said that she didn't like me hanging out with y'all. And, it made grandma, I love grandma. Grandma, that's my grandma. Grandma, how grandmas are, Jesus. And Christ is going to say, oh, I get it. Well, listen, the time for you to serve me has passed. It's too late. But there is a penalty for not serving me when I called you. Now here's the penalty. Like, you don't want that. Like, it seemed nice because America has not fully imploded the way that God is going to make America implode. You just saw one thing of the rioters storming the damn Capitol. Not us here. We ain't storming the Capitol. We could give a damn who's governor or mayor. We trying to stop sisters from having abortion and trying to stop the child molestation and drug overdoses. I could give a damn who's the mayor. The mayor is not going to affect my mission. Neither is the president. You understand? That's America's problem. That's got nothing to do with us. You understand? But we serving the Most High. All right, so keep going.
Sir. Verse 11. And thou mourn at the last.
You say you're going to be mourning at the last once the heathen have all of your money. You understand? They have all of your money, all of your wealth. Eventually, they'll just take the whole damn city and the land. And in your black city like Baltimore, or your black city like D.C. and Richmond, you will end up paying some heathen rent every month for a city that was built by you from slavery up. The city built and established by you from slavery up. You understand? Who is Davis? You said just tried to call something. Call into where? Whoever Davis is, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Just getting pieces of information. If you call the ISUPK school, any school you call, leave a voice message. You understand? That's what you do. Leave a voice message. Try after class. Everybody is teaching classes right now. Our class schedules are the same all throughout the nation. So don't call the school while class is going on right now. We're teaching class right now. So you want to call after class is over, then you'll call. All right? Right now, we having class. You want to be in class right now. So sign in for attendance for class. That's what you do. Sign in for attendance. And then after class, then you try to contact the school. Not during class, because class is going on. That's what you do. All right? And it's broadcasting going on. So chances are you might not reach whatever school that you called. This broadcast is going on live. All right? All throughout the nation. Okay? So now, that's what the Lord is saying. That's why he gave his son his wisdom, saying you need to be sure that when you dealing with a woman, son, you could forfeit all of this wealth that we've been building for these centuries. You're going to give it away to some heathen, and then she is going to bring in her people. And then a few generations later, after your people start to serve their gods, next thing you know, there will be nothing left of this town for us, and they'll own everything. And you'll work and pay them money, and they'll have your money, and then you'll be left with nothing. That's exactly what is happening, all right? But the solution to that is we turn back and condition our minds and condition our spirits to stop celebrating their holidays. Stop celebrating their holidays and get into school and celebrate the Lord's high holy days. That's the solution. Celebrate the Lord's high holy days. Learn what holy days the Lord said to celebrate, like the Passover, like the Day of Atonement, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You understand? The memorial blowing of trumpets, Hanukkah, our things that is about our nation and our people, and you choose those over the ones in the world. That's why Christ said you have to hold to one and despise the other. You develop a hatred for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, and Father's Day, and you'll fight it the first few years. It'll be a fight for you. Maybe your family is someone that's deep into Christianity. that's deep in loving America and pledging allegiance to the flag and loving the military. And it will be a battle and warfare. And that is absolutely necessary if you are going to be any good at serving Christ. If you are going to be any good at serving the Most High, it is absolutely necessary that you understand that, my son, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. That's coming out the gate. You understand? Life is about warfare. And you cannot serve or be good to the Most High if you are not ready for warfare. And that's what we train brothers and sisters for in here. And over time, you'll get stronger and it'll be nothing. It'll be nothing to you. They won't even think about inviting you for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday. And what you will find is that the relationship that you had with most people was based on serving Satan. Because if it's not one of these holidays that the Lord said not to celebrate, what would they contact you for? What would they contact you for? Some holiday? Esau's holidays is to dictate when and how you're supposed to love yourselves and be a family, right? So if you don't celebrate those holidays, what is the love in the family about? There's no more birthdays. Now you have to have real love and real rules and a real family. And then you'll realize that these damn holidays made it seem like we had all of this love in this family. In reality, we did not have any of that. Because minus these holidays and minus the invite to the holidays and celebrating them, you probably won't hear from all of these friends that you thought you loved so much. That's why the Bible says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove them first. This is how you prove a friend. You understand? All right, so go ahead, continue what you're doing, Urash, what you read.
When thy flesh and thy body are consumed.
When your flesh and your body are consumed, you're going to die. You're going to be consumed up. There's going to be nothing left of you. He's giving instructions to his son. You understand? This is how you leave a legacy, son. This is how we can pass a heritage down. You understand? The British royal family, they understood that. They understood how to pass heritage down. You understand? How to pass wealth down from generation to generation. They just killed us off and starved us to death and kept all of their wealth in their family. That's what they did. That's how America was built. That's how they got Britain. That's how they got control of Europe. That's how they did it, man. Right, that's what Christ said, all right? Whoever this is talking, make sure you sign in for attendance, all right? Sign in for attendance. That's what you do, okay? So keep going.
Kind of a concert. Verse 12. And say, how have I hated instruction?
Saying, how have I hated instruction? This is what our people are saying. They hate instruction. And this is what the Christian church teaches our people. To not like instruction. Don't like being corrected. Nobody can tell me what to do. You don't own me. I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. People like that end up in jail, where they have someone telling them what to do night and day all the time with a nightstick and pepper spray and handcuffs and horrible beatings and abuse, telling you what to do, because no one can tell you what to do or give you instructions in the free world. So now Esau has to come and tell you and handcuff you and put you in a cage and force instruction on you, which is what happens to so many of our people that do not listen to and hear instruction. You understand? That's why we teach brothers and sisters, listen, you cannot be uninstructable, brother. That's how you end up in jail. People is telling you things for your benefit, for your good. If you don't listen to anybody and you do whatever you want, usually the people around you can see that you are going to run into some trouble you can't get yourself out of down the line. They can see that, especially the prophets of the Lord. But listen, brother, you out here selling drugs, you may think you're going to get away, just like every brother thinks they get away until they get shot and end up in a wheelchair. They end up sprawled out on the street with their brains out. And then that's when they realize, well, you can't sell drugs now, but it's too late. You get 40 years in prison. Can't be gangbanging and shooting up the apartment complex and burning up houses, brother, until you get quadruple life sentence. That's when you realize. You understand? So keep going.
Kind of a concert. And my heart despised reproof.
My heart despised reproof, which is correction. They despise. Why they keep trying to tell me what to do? Nobody tell me what to do. I'm grown. Nobody say nothing to me. I'm my own man. Nobody tell me what to do. I got news for you. It's my body, my choice. You don't tell me what to do. Don't no nigga own me. You don't tell me what to do. I got news for you, sister. The Lord created you so that someone can tell you what to do. If nobody tell me what to do, it's my body, my choice. Your choice is to kill the baby. You need someone to tell you what to do. You're a murderer. You understand? You're a murderer. You need someone to tell you what to do. All right? You need it. Someone has to tell you, to convince you otherwise. The same way that someone convinced you that it was acceptable for you to murder your baby, you have to be taught that it is unacceptable for you to murder your baby. We got to convince you otherwise, sister. You ever seen a baby before? You ever held a baby before? You understand? You were a baby at some point. You were a baby. You understand? Somebody had to make a choice to not put up $400 and let them take a damn butcher knife into your mother and chop you up like a goddamn steak or a salad. Somebody had to be convinced that you decided to live. I'm sure if you were inside of some sister growing and trying to be born and live to who you are today, I'm sure you would have not wanted someone to come in and execute you while you were trying to live. So what the hell in your mind do you think it's acceptable for someone to tell you that this is an option, that we should just kill a goddamn baby? Oh, late-term abortions. I'll tell you what, let us have an argument on the street and you say something I don't like, or you say something that somebody doesn't like, and then they just start shooting and kill everybody. That's a late-term abortion. You understand? They made a choice to abort. You understand? Killing is killing. It's murder. And someone needs to tell you that you're a murderer so that you can change your mind and feel bad. You understand? Or so that there can be consequences when you take someone's life. Just like there are consequences for a Black or Hispanic man when they take someone's life. You have to be told these things because you need someone to tell you what to do. You need someone to instruct you, brother. That's why it's 2 million Black men in prison, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're not fit to be in charge of yourself. You may have the age, but you don't have the wisdom. You don't have the understanding. You don't know what you're doing. That's why the Lord set up a man, a brother, to lead and father and teach and shepherd over other men and women. That's why the Lord set up the prophets. That's why he set up officers and captains and generals to lord over the people, not be equal to the people, not give suggestions to the people, to give orders and enforce the Lord's commandments to the people, to counsel the people. Because if you were left to yourself, you would destroy your life and the other lives of the people around you, and that is the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community as we have it now. That's why he said, I will raise up a prophet from among you and put words in his mouth, and him shall ye hearken unto. That's the purpose. All of this comes full circle. You understand? But this is the furthest thing from our people's mind. If we have joined another nation of people and we've joined ourselves unto the heathen, and now we have their concept of how we get leaders from democracy and voting and pledge allegiance to the flag, and America's system is not built for us. That's why it's saying will be destroyed, and another nation of people will have your wealth. And in America, all of the other nations of people, they have their own wealth. The Chinese wealth is not tied into America's economy. Neither is the Vietnamese wealth, the Koreans' wealth, the Africans' wealth, the Arabs' wealth, the Nigerians' wealth. America's economy is damn near all based on how much you are buying from everyone else. That's damn near what it's based on. You understand? And if we obey the Lord, we would set up our own to obey them. We got a farm in Isupk. We got a farm. We got a farm with goats. Not goats. We got a farm with bulls. We got a farm with bulls. We got a farm, you understand, with lettuce and crops. We got a couple of farms in the school. We need to get back to our farming again. That's where the real power is. We moved up north following simple Martin Luther King and got stranded, and we left all this good land we had in the South. We outbred the slave master. He could barely get that white woman pregnant. Brothers and sisters was turning out kids like, you turn out muffins from the damn oven. You understand? We turning out children left and right. That's why they had to teach you to start murdering your kids with abortion, because we was going to outnumber them and they were scared of it. Just like Egypt was scared that we would outnumber them because we had more babies than the damn Africans had babies. Everyone knew it. You understand? But they tricked us to think like them while they lied to us and did something opposite for their people. This is why the Lord told us never join another nation of people. And as we change our mind, the damage that has been done can come off of our mind. We can think right again. We can think straight again. We can think about preserving our people and our nation and our families and communities. You understand? That's going to drive you to think better about who you choose to have sex with, who you choose to make a family with, who you choose to make children with, what goals you're trying to set. Are you thinking as an individual? Or are you thinking it as a nation? That's what we have to think. Because as an individual, if I don't want to take care of a baby, I could just kill it. But as a nation, we can't afford to lose any of our babies. Because you take a doctor, you take a lawyer, you take a mother, a father, a wife, a husband away from the next generation of people that's going to need them. You understand? This is what the Holy Spirit of the Lord to teach us to think as a nation, not as you individually, what you want and what you feel. We got to get out of that. Slavery taught us to think as individuals. Every other thing in society thinks as a nation. You understand? That roach in your kitchen thinks as a nation. He's not there risking his life for himself. That roach is risking getting killed in the kitchen so that he can tell all the other roaches that it's a mess in here that we can eat and feed to the rest of our fellow roaches. The raccoon that breaking your attic is thinking, is this a place that I can make a nest so that my raccoon babies can be safe from the elements up in your attic? Like, everything is thinking about the future generations of his people. And we have to start thinking that way. So give me that last scripture. All right.
Verse 13. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me.
Man, I wasn't trying to hear nothing about no instruction. Mama couldn't tell me nothing. Daddy couldn't tell me nothing. Them old heads telling me, slow down, don't do this, that's wrong, brother. You got it then, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Damn all of that. Thug life, savage life. I'm out here. Nobody tell me what to do. I'm me. I'm grown. All of that old silly nonsense. That's what people sit up and tell themselves before they end up in the back of the squad car. That's what they tell themselves. Year after year, day after day, month after month, until Esau put their hands and cuffs on them, and then they end up sitting in the lockup with other people that's also grown, that no one could teach or instruct or correct. That's where they end up. You understand? Give me verse 14.
Verse 14. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly.
Said I was almost in all evil. I was into everything, messing up everywhere. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 15. Drink waters out of thine own cistern.
Drink your own waters. This is a metaphor. You understand? It's twofold. Keep going.
And running waters out of thine own well.
It said, drink waters out of your own cistern. Drink from your own waters. This is a metaphor talking about get your own woman of your own people. Leave the white man's woman alone. Leave Becky alone. Let Danny Kim have Mei Ling. Young Jeezy is wrong. He should have not taken Mei Ling from Danny Kim. Mei Ling belongs to Danny Kim. Let them go and make Chinese babies together. You understand? He wrong for that. Kanye West is wrong. Taking that white woman away from white men. She belonged to white men. The Lord made that white woman for a white man. Just like he made a lioness for a lion, and a tigress, which is a female tiger, for a tiger, and a hen for a rooster. The Lord made them. You're wrong. You got no business taking that woman from another nation of people. You're wrong. Drink waters from your own cistern, your own well, so you have your own. You understand? The Lord is telling you. All throughout the Bible, you will see this over and over again, because this is a serious problem. And it's so serious to the point that the Lord is always talking about it. He has all the prophets mentioning it, and you never hear anybody say it outside of the Isupk. It's literally why the Lord, Urash, you understand that? It's literally why the Lord flooded the earth and killed everyone but 8 people. That's how serious the Lord takes it. And no one talks about it but us. Like nobody. Like, that's crazy. The society, the planet came 8 people away from no more humans. 8 people away. And nobody even talks about why. Like, this is very important, man. And as you change, more and more people, you change how you think. And this is going to affect how your children think, how the future generations of people think. Like, they got to be taught up. I don't know what Christianity teach you. There's a children's church. There's no such thing as no damn children's church. That does not exist. Your children need to be learning what's in the Bible, because them sodomites is not teaching separate education for your children. You send your children to school, them sodomites is teaching how to let adults have sex with them and not tell your parents. Princess Boy, you understand, has 2 daddies. That's what they teaching. They're not sparing your children. You think you're trying to hide your children from hearing the word of the Lord? They're gonna go to school and have some man in a dress flashing, exposing himself for transgender day in the damn library. You understand? Yeah, get that Christianity off of our people, man. We'll take that baby and sit him right in front of the TV, in the high chair, in the car seat, watching General Muhammad's class. Let that baby sit right in front of the big screen, looking at General Muhammad's class, breaking down the scriptures. You understand? That's the best and safest thing you can do for your children. Goddamn Buzz Lightyear got a gay kissing scene coming up in his new movie. All the years of Toy Story, they was just being damn toys. Now, Buzz Lightyear is LGBT friendly. He got to come out as a damn homosexual as a toy. The goddamn toys got to be homosexuals now. They pushing it to your children. You think you hiding your children, don't want them to find out that God said we can't have Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you're not supposed to eat bacon and celebrate birthdays. Buzz Lightyear gonna try to turn your son out as a baby. You understand? You better bring them to class. You better let them sit them in front of this damn TV so they can hear the word of the Lord. You understand? Time is out. Ain't no sideline. Our people are the prize game that everyone is hunting for. The sooner you realize it and wake up to it, the better off you'll be. The grocery store, the church, the mosque, the school, the college. You understand? We being hunted. You better wake up. You understand? All right. And with that, we're going to end it there. All right. We the ISUPK. We start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We teach the truth about this Bible that Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are God's chosen people. ISUPK security announcements. When a brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. If a brother or sister has an interest in anyone there to seek counsel from the head to speak to a brother and sister, you are not free to just go and talk to a brother and sister, get and exchange phone numbers, go and hook up and have sneaky links and have sex and all of that. You're going to cause yourself a ton of problems, and you will violate the rules to the school. You might get thrown the hell out. And the Lord going to give you plenty of hell and punishment for violating our rules. You understand? Don't do that. Don't be dumb on purpose and break rules we've given you good reason to not do. Don't do that. You understand? It's okay to be dumb in the world. The world is the place to be dumb and make dumb decisions on purpose. Don't come in here with all this wisdom and understanding, you understand, in the spirit of the Lord, and willfully be dumb like you were in the world. Don't do that. Don't be him. Don't be her. Have order and structure and dignity and decency for the first time so we as a people can have it. You understand? All right. Tithes, which is a commandment from the Most High. 10% of every penny of every increase the Most High gives to you. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Go to isupk.com and pay your tithes. All this teaching, all of these lessons that you are getting, you are to pay your tithes. You understand? 10% of every penny of every increase the Most High gives to you. You go right to isupk.com, put your tithes in. You get a check. You hit the lottery. You find $20 on the ground. You get your inheritance. You understand? Whatever you get, your increase, you are to pay your tithes. 90% of what you get belongs to you. 10% belongs to the Most High. Do not rob the Most High. The only place on the planet where tithes are paid, you have to pay to where the Lord set up. The only place the Lord set up to teach the Bible is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? America getting ready to fall anyway. You ain't going to be able to go to work. You understand? There'll be no damn gas. White man is getting arrested every other week by the FBI trying to storm and attack and kidnap goddamn senators. Every other month they getting arrested. 20, 30 at a time, planning some damn raid. You understand? If your hope and trust is in America, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You understand? You better get in here and build up your nation and get in the actual school. Not just watching class videos. You need to be in here to be present, to get instructions. You understand? You need to be fully in here all the way. Ain't no sideline. Esau is not playing sidelines. You understand? The other nations ain't playing sidelines. Chinese man kidnapped a little black boy at gunpoint in broad daylight. Nobody playing. You might be playing, but the other nations are not playing. World War III is right around the corner. And you want to know what to do before you need to know what to do and don't know it. You better get in here and stop playing, all right? All right? As tithes, you go right to isupk.com, enter your tithes amount and send your receipt right there to your email. Don't think you're in the truth and serving the Most High and not paying your tithes. Don't fool yourself. All right? Upcoming High Holy Days, High Holy Day Department. What's the next one?
Memorial Blowing Trumpets, September 25th.
The memorial blowing the trumpet, September the 25th. On the calendar, you'll have the calendars. Contact the school, whatever city and state that you're in, so that their correspondence department can let you know about the upcoming High Holy Day and how you can get there to be all the way in the body and not just online. All right. Contact the schools. All right. All of our school listings at the end of our camp speaking videos. Go to isupk.com and search. You can find the school listing on our ISUPK website. All right. You need to do that. Everybody needs to do that. Okay. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, it'll be in all black. Get in your all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Get in your full all black. Contact the school, whatever city, state, country you are in, and specifically say, I want to become a trooper in the school. I want to be a part of the school. You understand? Sisters, you contact the school. You cannot be a trooper because the work of the service of the Lord is not for a woman, but you still can join the school, contact the school, let the school know you want to officially be a part of the school so you can be told exactly what to do. This contact number for the Virginia school has been put in the chat. You understand? All of the other numbers have already told you how you can get that. All right. And with that, one courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel, Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shah Barakathum, to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, Al Athan, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, to the sisters. Tune in our next class, the Hebrew language classes on Friday. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments on our videos. You understand? Thumbs up our series. The Bible is Black. The Combat and Child Molestation and Sexual Abuse series is up. The Bible is Black, the form of all things, right on our channel. Check our playlist. Give the like up, share, and subscribe, man. Show your diligence and support in the work of the Lord and in this truth. If this was your favorite football game, your favorite movie, your favorite Netflix, your Hulu, your Facebook, you will be all into it with your support, your posts, and everything. Don't treat the work of the Lord and the men of the Lord teaching how to save our and your life and rebuild our nation to prepare for the fall of America in World War III. Don't give less attention and support to the work that the Lord set up. You understand? And with that, shalom.